Hi, I'm Callie and welcome to Kapowski Reads, and it's TBR time. I'm so excited. This is the first TBR game since June last year where I don't have to worry about whether a book is going to be long or taxing on my brain because I do not have any coursework. I finished my course literally today. Exams were done. I was sick 3 times with nerves because my best skill in life is getting really anxious about things that I don't need to be anxious about. It was just maths. I like math. I'm good at maths, like not to boast. I will boast. It's okay to boast. I'm good at maths. But this means that my February TBR game, I can just pick anything without having to think about anything other than I want to read it, I'm going to read it. It's such a small thing, but I'm so happy. Before I go into my February rules that I'm excited about, I'm going to talk through January, how I did for January. I had 6 books for my January TBR, and I'm happy to say that I have perhaps not finished them all right now, but it's the 29th. I've got 2 days left, 3 if you include today, to finish them, and I will have them finished by the end of this month. So on my January TBR, I had a new release and I went with The Haunting of Moscow House, which I DNF'd, but it still counts because I gave it my best try. I had my newest purchase. I went with The Goddess Effect, which I loved. 5 stars for a floppy paperback. I had a mood read and I went with A Touch of Jen, which I absolutely loved. And I actually had some wonderful conversations about this book because I was chatting online to people who felt the exact same way about this book as I did. Like, we had the same critique, but for me it ended up being, and I loved it. But for some others it was, and I hated it. And I feel like this is one of the books that I've had the most interesting conversations about. So that's that's why I talk about books on the internet. I want to have a chat about them, and it's just so nice sort of seeing that you can agree on the critique of a book and ultimately come up with wildly different take-home reactions. And I think that's kind of interesting and kind of beautiful about books and people. I had a 90s release. I went with Lords and Ladies. I have the tiniest amount of this book left. Teeny tiny. This will get finished. I'm listening to the audiobook. I have maybe 45 minutes left of the audiobook left. I will finish that this afternoon. I'm gonna play Stardew Valley as a treat. Farming as a treat. My stepdad would be so proud. And I'll finish the book off while I do that. Number in the title, I went with the 11. Loved it, 5 stars. And a book that the title began with the last letter of the previous pick. Not All Black Girls Know How to Eat. I've not finished this book yet. I've still got a little bit left, but I am really enjoying it. Let's go on to my January rules, which I feel they ended up basically just being library books. I've also realized I'm so short in this video. I have my phone on the normal stand and it's on the desk that it's been on. It's not a desk, it's a chest of drawers. It's a Hemnes that we planned to buy for about 5 years. Eventually got it. So nothing's changed about my setup, but I still feel I feel short, and everyone in the house laughs at me all the time because I'm forever saying I'm so tall. Because the sidebar, my stepkids, they've got bigger feet than I do because my feet are quite small, and they keep laughing about how they're going to be taller than me. And I'm like, yeah, you probably will, but not now. So they joke about how short I am while I'm taller than them. But I feel short. I'm 1.68 meters, but I look short today. I don't know. The air fryer is on, so we will ignore that. Rule number 1. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A book that I have seen on YouTube. Ooh. My first rule was for a book that I have seen on YouTube. And I feel I might be cheating with the wording of this, because when I made the board, in my mind it was a book that I had seen on BookTube. I wrote YouTube, but I meant BookTube. But I'm going with a book that I've seen on YouTube. I am mildly obsessed, but not in a parasocial way, in a non-threatening, just appreciating the content way, with Caroline Winkler. Gorgeous home content, very stylish, entertaining human. She's wonderful. Her sister wrote a book, and her sister, she has her family on her channel every so often. They're one of those gorgeous families that you're like, you like each other? And like, I love my family, but we don't hang out that often, and it's very wholesome and very cute. But her sister's written a book and it sounded interesting, so I got it. Shakespeare Was a Woman and Other Heresies by Elizabeth Winkler. And this is a non-fiction book that I've had on my list for a wee while. It sounds interesting. I've never read a Shakespeare book. It's basically a look into how our beliefs about Shakespeare have been formed, and it just seems so obscure and random, and I love the idea of this deep dive. I love a deep dive, so I'm excited to read it. And I do also have like the complete works of Shakespeare. It's still in the thing. I haven't even taken it out. One day I will read this, but first I will read this. Roll number 2 is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Planned for a vlog. Next roll was for a book that is planned for a vlog, and I'm going with Penance by Eliza Clark. This is going to be on my library reading vlog for February that I hope is going to come out in February, unlike my January one, which I think is coming out in February, because I'm fairly certain it's not coming out in January. I haven't edited it yet. It exists. I've not edited it yet. My brain is mashed potato. Mashed potato and maths. That's all my brain is right now. With like the tiniest bit of, my spot hurts. That is my brain. This is about an investigation into the death of a young woman like 10 years ago. And we get to find out whether this investigation is based on fact or fiction. And I have heard a lot of people talking about this book quite a while ago. I probably could have chosen this book for prompt number 1. And I've had a few reliable sources tell me I'm going to absolutely love this author, and I would like to find out if that is true. I do have another book by her downstairs, so I should have started with that, but I'm excited to read this. I love a little book that sort of looks into true crime and like how factual that is, and I believe this book kind of touches on the subject of true crime as a form of entertainment, but I could be making that up. Roll number 3. Is this going to be a multiple of 6 as well? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It is pink. And it is Reread a Favourite. I like this. Next, I am going to be rereading a favourite. And I was going to start this by saying don't judge me, but you can judge me if you want. I don't mind. I am going to show you 3 books, but I'm obviously only putting 1 on my list, and it's the Hilary Duff trilogy. I read this trilogy a while ago. Oh, like 2023 perhaps? If I can find the video. I did post it. I'll pop a link in the description. I read this book series and I feel like I was harsh on this series, because for the last maybe year I've been thinking about it and sort of chuckling about some things that happen in this series, and I think I maybe went into it with too serious a mindset instead of like it's gonna be ridiculous, just, you know, buckle up and enjoy the ride. So I would like to give the series another go, because I think just the memory of this series I've been chuckling about. So I think that maybe I was too harsh, and I think that's okay. I think it's okay to go, I judged you unfairly. But I did like most of the book. I thought the last book was ridiculous. But with hindsight, I think it's ridiculous in a Twilight kind of way, where it's still fun. There are many seagulls outside my house. I'm scared. rule number 4 is a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Green card. A NetGalley book. Next, I have a NetGalley book, and if you watched my, shall we call it a failure, because that's what it feels like now, of Winterween, there's only one book I can realistically put on this list, and that's When Ghosts Call Us Home by Katia de Becerra. This is about a sister, well, a woman who has a sister, and she and her sister made like found footage films, and the rumor is that her sister sold her soul for success. And everyone sort of went, haha, it's a silly little joke. And then she goes missing. So her younger sister returns to the scene of the crime and looks into what actually happened. I believe this is a little bit of a ghost story and kind of haunted house. I want that. So I'm very excited, and I wanted to read it in January and I didn't get to it. And is there a rule 5? There is. It rolled off. It's a 1. That's yellow. Fewer than 3 colours on the cover. Next rule is for a book with fewer than 3 colours on the cover. And with hindsight, I actually think this has 3 colours. But do we include white and black in this? I'm going with it anyway. The Angel Makers by Patty McCracken. This is a non-fiction book about a poison murder ring. And rule 6 is a 2, 1, 2, another pink, a reading goal book. And rule 7, there is no rule 7 because there's only 2 left. And my last pick is a book that meets my reading goal. I'm going with Glyph by Ali Smith. I'm going to be reading this as part of a buddy read with some of my Scottish Book Club friends, and I'm really excited about it. It's not too long. I think we're going to be reading it over the span of like a week. I don't know. I'll need to double check. I'm going to tab it up so it's ready. This is going to meet one of my goals of A, library book, B, Scottish book. All I know about this book is that there are 2 children who come home one day to find that there's a red paint around the outside of their house. And I don't know what that means. I've read 4 books by this author, The Seasonal Quartet, highly recommend. And her books tend to focus on like human nature and the way that we view like rights and wrongs. And I am very excited about this. I'm so excited to chat about this with friends as well. You know when you're reading a book and you're like, I need to talk to people about it. But when you're doing a buddy read, you have people to talk about it with, and that's great. So this is my February TBR, which is about the size of my head, plus my NetGalley ebook. I'm so excited to read these, and I'm excited to give Hilary Duff another go, a fairer go, because I'm in a better mood now. Let me know if you read any of these books and what you're planning to read this coming month. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!